So I'm back in the UK, more specifically I'm back in London. So on my last day in Ho Chi Minh and Vietnam, I decided to visit some temples, go on a temple run if you will. This is just one of the temples I visited. The very next day I took a Thai Airways flight back to London.
Tí cho Nhung ngồi đây. Nhung ngồi đây ngồi cho. Không có mở. Mở được.
So I'm back in the UK, more specifically I'm back in London. Don't know if it's just me, but I always feel really weird when I go abroad for some time and then come back. It's always just really strange. I always feel a little bit off. What do you think? Do you feel like that ever? Hey everyone. So I've decided to leave Vietnam and I'm actually in London in the UK now. I have various reasons for coming here as opposed to staying here. So I'd give you some of my honest opinions about Vietnam and my thoughts and things that I learned during my time there. So when I was there, I loved the sunshine. I mean, right now I'm in London and it's not really the same situation when it comes to sunshine. There are a lot of very friendly people and Vietnam itself is hugely varied in terms of the environment, you know, from places like Sapa in the north and Halong Bay all the way to Ho Chi Minh City, and you know, of course the beaches at places like Nha Trang and Hoi An and that sort of thing. However, I did find some annoying aspects to my time there. So for example, the hassling or rather hustling by some of the locals. Perhaps I'll go into some particular hustles in another video. But yeah, it grows tiresome over time, I guess. And you see a lot of it when you're in one of the kind of really touristy areas. In pretty much most major cities in Vietnam, but in particular I found in Ho Chi Minh City. the hustling is so common that eventually you just become suspicious of any Vietnamese person that comes up to you and tries to spark up a conversation, which is really, really unfortunate, really, because sometimes people do just want to talk to you, but sometimes they are trying to hustle you and try to get something out of you. There is also the issue of just rubbish or trash just everywhere in Ho Chi Minh City. It is generally, outside of like a couple of central areas of the city, it is generally quite dirty. And having lived in places like Bangkok, even compared to Bangkok, it's much dirtier than Bangkok. Bangkok is generally, quite clean actually in comparison, I think, in my opinion. I have also encountered some overly positive and overly negative foreigners, which was interesting to experience. There's some foreigners that will defend Vietnam and Ho Chi Minh City, regardless of any kind of issues that there may be, or any negative aspects there might be. And then there are on the opposite side of the coin, there are people who are just hugely negative about the place. So all they talk about is the negative aspects of it, and you kind of end up wondering why they're actually still there. They complain, yet they're still there. It's quite interesting. This experience has made me think about my own requirements from a place where I live abroad, and it taught me a lot, really. I would say, although I had a good time there, generally speaking, I do think it's important to really take time with decisions like this and make sure it's the right decision. However, at the same time, you don't want to be entering the territory of analysis paralysis. So that's where you just overanalyze things and never actually end up taking action. So you do have to kind of balance that, really. My own life experiences and time abroad have shown me that life isn't about getting everything right every single time. It's about taking risks, albeit, as I just mentioned, calculated risks, but risks nonetheless. Of course, you don't want to be that homeless kind of hippie foreigner in a foreign country. So you don't want to take those kinds of risks, but at the same time, if you don't take risks in life, I find that you can often miss out on the best things in life. I do find that due to the way society is organized, we seem to place great leeway on costly risks such as going to university, while society gives, I'd say, comparatively very little leeway to risks associated with what I would argue are less costly endeavors, such as starting up your own business, retraining for another career or another skill, and also, of course, actually going abroad, because I do think those often actually can be more beneficial experiences. I mean, to sum everything up, I would say, go start your business, go live abroad, start your own investment fund, take that course in that thing that you're really, really passionate about, or turn that hobby into a career. There's an old saying that I agree with to a very large extent, and that saying is, in life, you won't regret the risks that you do take, but the risks that you don't take. So, at the moment, I'm giving some thought to making some new videos. So those videos, I'm planning to base them around photography. So there would be sort of like, almost like educational videos, kind of giving some tips, really. Another area that I'm considering possibly covering is perhaps an area of gaming. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll give it some thought, and of course, I do look forward to hearing your thoughts. So if you have any thoughts or ideas, do comment down below. I will read them, and if if suitable, I will try to reply to them. Yeah, so I look forward to that, and I hope you do too. Okay, that'll be it for this week. But don't forget, as always, stay frosty. Oh, and before I leave, I almost forgot. Of course, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. It's really appreciated, as this is still a new channel.